to NUFS with the New Ulm Film Society. I'm Mike.
I'm Clay.
We're here to talk about some movies. This is the month of February, which generally has some sneaky hits in it.
Yep.
It's usually sort of like where we start to get like one or two mid-budget movies, where we start maybe like, I believe 300 came out in February.
Yep. Black Panther,
yeah. So it's not quite the arid desert that January is, but it's still not, your summer tent poles yet. You usually only get about one or two big movies, which we'll talk about a couple of them coming up here.
Yeah, we will. And, Valentine's Day is usually a big hit for the films, too.
For some reason, a hit for horror movies.
Yeah, Silence of the Lambs came out on Valentine's Day. So did 1931 Dracula.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe just, the heightened fear makes the lovers go crazy or something like that.
I've heard the argument is because it's a good night to go to a date movie. And the thing is, you'd think romantic comedy, which they are. Yeah, that's good for date.
We're going to talk about
definitely
one
for
today,
date. But also scary movies. Those are big for dates and actually the psychological thrillers. And that's how they figured that out with Silence of the Lambs, actually. That's one hit 'em.
Interesting. All right, so the first movie we're going to take a look at is, in fact, a horror movie. So we're going to take a look at the trailer for The Monkey. Let's go.
I'm going to just let her play.
For the longest time, there was nothing. But then, it appeared. A beast not from this earth, smiting the ones who deserved it, the ones who didn't. And everyone in between. Whoever controls it controls life and death. And those deaths are really messed up.
Holy sh!
Everybody dies. And that's life.
It's a goddamn mess in there. Have you been up there? It's like that restaurant. Spaghetti City.
Everything okay up there?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Come on, baby, let's have some fun.
Just faster.
Well, that looks wild. I saw Elijah Wood in there. He's got some sort of weird horror fetish that's, he's usually in good ones, though. So.
Yeah, he is. Or even... I'm still remembering Sin City, where he's...
Well, yeah.
It's not a horror movie, but he's playing the creepiest character.
Yeah, as far a departure from Frodo Baggins as you can find.
Yeah.
So, Stephen King short. I've never read that short story.
I haven't either. So when I first saw this trailer, and because I had no idea, I'm like, oh, what? This is Stephen King, and I wasn't really sure because
he's written so much.
He's written so much, and I wasn't sure if they changed the title. Sometimes they do that where he wrote it under a different name, story, and then they just changed it to this one and make it more accurate. It could be, but watching the trailer, that sounds like early Stephen King short story. One of his more. I don't think this is one of his recent works from the look of it, but he's written so much.
He's got a million short stories, a million novels. I mean, you can't follow all. Although I believe Stephen has tried to read every single thing he's ever written. I have not.
I've tried to get a good chunk of them, but I think I only got half of them.
Yeah.
So.
Well, when he was, doing cocaine in the 80s, he was pumping out a lot back then.
There was a lot of his short story, and he still does short story collections.
Well,
one of his most recent ones was that. So he doesn't stop.
No, he does not. Which is good because he's a talented writer, and we want as much content from people who are creative and genuinely cool.
Well, I swear we will do a series on just Stephen King adapted works someday.
You've been pitching that for years, and we've never done it.
Well, we have actually shown a couple of his.
We should, but in individuals,
but that'd be a fun one. But we'll someday.
So this is from director Osgood Perkins, who did Long Legs, which I did not see. Did you see that one?
I did. It is terrifying. It was really everyone who says that Long Legs is scary. They're correct. It has one of the most horrifying jump scares I've ever seen in my life. It was just so unsettling when I saw it. And it's Nicolas Cage is in that movie, and I've said it. It's the scariest performance Nick Cage has ever get.
He's been picking good projects.
He
lately.
has.
Did you see The Unbearable Weight of Massive
I
Talent?
have not yet.
Oh
I
my
wanna see it.
gosh, Clay, watch it.
I
It's
should.
so funny.
I think
so
it's on
funny.
Tubi now, so I should.
It
be
is,
able to
yeah.
get to
Check it out.
I'll
for
have to
sure,
get to
yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
But his in that one he's playing himself too. which-
Yeah, and it's Chef's Kiss, incredible. There's a scene where he as himself is yelling at himself. A younger version of himself is yelling at himself, and it's incredible.
Oh, only he could do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's killing it. But Osgood Perkins. That's pretty much what he directs, is the horror movies.
Yep.
And he's an actor too. He's popped up in a
Yes.
few things, but
Yeah.
it's the first time I saw him was in a comedy actor, The Secretary, actually, just a small role. But he's almost exclusively directs scary stuff.
which is fine if that's what he likes to do, and if he's good at it.
It should be noted that he is the son of Anthony Perkins, who played Norman Bates in the original Psycho.
Okay, yeah, all right.
So, yeah.
that is a connection right there.
There you
for
go,
sure,
right there.
Yeah.
And one thing that I always
Bit of a nepo baby, if you will.
a little bit, but one of the things that struck me as odd, and it was because I read an interview when he was doing Longlegs, and he said the movie was kind of dedicated and kind of about his mother.
That's weird.
Which raises, there's
Super
so
weird.
much to unpack in that. If
Yeah.
you've seen the movie, that's like, wow, okay. But
Was he saying that just to get a rise out of people?
maybe,
though?
but the funny thing is he was talking with Nick Cage, and Nick Cage was aware. He's like, I kind of realized that when we were making the movie, and so Nick Cage kind of, and I know, if you know more about Osgood's life, you can, that's a lot to unpack.
I know nothing, but
We won't get into it here, but it's something worth researching there to look in. So that's pretty exciting to see him now jumping in, because it's not just, he's going in, he's adapting Stephen King, but it's also got James Wan helping
I'd say
produce
James
too.
Wan attached is a good name.
There's
I
a
think
lot
he's
of horror
got,
in this
yeah,
one. This
a good
is-
pedigree there. I really loved Aquaman.
I did too.
I'm shamelessly.
I
loved
did. It was fun.
It's a big on the big screen.
It
All
was
those
great.
colors.
Oh, it's fantastic.
That's a
It was
great analysis, right? All those colors.
I know, but this is the exact opposite. Well, it's going the dark side
Yeah,
a little bit
which
here.
I'm fine with that.
Which just shows you that you can do, but at the same time, this looks like it's going to be kind of funny too, to some extent. So
Yeah,
looks pretty violent, so I'm sure they'll earn that R rating.
I don't know if I'll see this one, to be honest. If we're going to be perfectly frank here, I don't see all the horror movies. I only see the ones I think are really good. And I'm not a big fan of all the blood.
Yeah.
So, just the amount of blood in the trailer makes me think I might
Maybe
not
a little
see this
squeamish.
one. I'm not, I don't think it'll be bad. And if it's like, if that's your thing, Clay, we know.
No.
I bet you'll love it, but
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of just necessarily going for. I think if you can make a horror movie that's really scary and there's no blood, you've done something really special.
Yeah.
And there are quite a few films that have done
For
that.
sure, yeah.
Weirdly enough, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, not that much blood. You'd think there would be, but not that much.
Yeah,
and then
I think I liked Hush. There's not a ton of blood in that one.
Yep. Oh yeah, good one.
I liked
The original Halloween actually doesn't have that much blood.
It Follows. Doesn't have a ton of blood.
Yeah,
That's a great
yeah,
one.
good,
Yeah.
exactly.
Um,
But this looks like it's going for the kind of almost wacky extreme.
Yeah,
Looks
which
like-
is fine.
Which is okay.
I can actually dig that too because I liked Brain Dead from Peter
Oh, yeah,
Jackson. That
yeah,
has
yeah.
so much blood.
And that's a good reference because this kind of feels like it's the same tone almost.
Oh, maybe,
I think
yeah.
you're right. I mean, you did see that was like a baby stroller. There's a baby stroller, and
Yeah, I saw that.
they're doing it. So they might be going there. There might be a direct reference to Brain
Well,
Dead
you'll
in
have
this
to see
movie.
it and let me know
I'll
whether
let you
I
know.
should see it or
I
not.
probably will check it out. It looks like it's something that'll be just pretty funny there, worth checking out.
All right. So what are we taking a look at here next? Okay, so we're going to take a look at Bridget Jones and her next installment. I don't even remember the name of it here. Take a look at this. This one's on streaming, so this will be interesting.
In life, there are memories that will never leave us.
I like you very much, just as you are.
But sometimes, those memories are suddenly
Bridget.
all we're left with.
Ah, Mrs. Darcy?
Mr. Wallaker, why is your granny wearing pajamas?
Bridget, you're a widow with 2 wonderful children. My advice to you is put your own oxygen mask on first. You just have to get laid.
Shaz is right.
Oh my god.
It's been 4 years now.
You're effectively a nun. A very, very naughty nun.
I've set you up on Tinder.
What's Tinder? Mummy! Mabel's stuck up the tree! We're going to die!
Everything all right, Mrs. Darcy?
Oh my god.
Hiya.
I've climbed a magical man tree.
Hello.
You can call me Rockstar.
Bridget Jones.
But you can call her Mummy.
Is that the tree Adonis?
If you don't shag him, I will.
How old are you?
28.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm 29.
We are about to embark on an adventure.
You sure you're up to this?
I'm your girl.
Do you miss Dada sometimes?
I miss him all of the times.
Can you survive?
I think so.
It's not enough to survive. You've got to live.
Was that the Dalai Lama?
Just Harry Styles, I think.
Mr. Wallaker.
Now that is what I call a rebrand.
Did you have sex?
Did you have sex?
Did you have sex last night? Yes, I did. I had a full night of utterly mind-blowing sex, and it was amazing. Bridget Jones, it's time to live.
Uncle Daniel!
Miniature Darcy, what's the news?
Where are the ladies with the big...
Hair. Well, they couldn't make it, I'm afraid. They're washing their hair.
all three?
Well, they wash each other's, you see.
Would you ever have thought they could get like, what is this, like 5 movies out of
I think it's
a
fourth.
fourth movie?
At least four.
Out of an adaptation of Pride and Prejudice. Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand. They've left that behind.
Well, when you have one of the better Mr. Darcys,
I mean, yeah.
yeah, that's gonna happen there. And then
Looks like they've killed him.
they killed him off in this one because they needed to get a fourth story here.
Yeah.
You know? And then they still got Hugh Grant there working.
I mean, they gave her happily ever after, and then they yanked
it away, and it hurt. Yeah,
Which, I've only seen parts of all of these movies. I haven't seen them all the way through. I understand the concept. I've seen every other adaptation of Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah.
She's a charming lead, obviously.
Yes.
I've enjoyed, Renee Zellweger for 25 years now, probably.
Yeah. And she's doing a British accent, even though she's American.
Which is
Very hard to do.
Yeah, I mean, well, good actors can do it though.
Yeah.
Just like good British actors can do an American accent. It's not like it's
Yeah.
totally unheard of.
Yeah.
This movie is like weirdly stacked in terms of like background talent because it's the director is Michael Morris. He's done prestige TV from like every distributor. Like he's done For All Mankind for Apple. He did 13 Reasons Why for Netflix.
Yep.
He did like 2 or 3 other ones. I think he worked on an HBO show or 2. He's been doing that for like 15 years. This is only his second feature though, and this, whether it's a film or a streaming thing, is kind of up for debate. But considering it's an established IP, and while it is direct to streaming, I'm sure it will still have an audience.
Yep.
I consider this to be a big feature film.
Yeah, it's gonna have a big audience. I mean, I heard about this like 2 months ago because I know fans of this franchise and they're excited about another one. That's how I learned.
I'm a little surprised that it's not streaming. I mean, it's not going direct to theaters.
Yeah, I am too. But then it's just a lot of romantic comedies are going streaming these days.
That is true. Yeah.
You don't have too many of them going to the theaters, which I don't. I think that's a mistake. They should be bringing them back, but it's helped, to some extent. We're getting a lot more romantic comedies these days because the streaming, it does work on streaming. People do like it. TV shows especially have done quite well.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm more likely to consume them on streaming.
Yeah,
I watched the Emma Roberts one from I want to say Paramount last year, where she played a woman who wanted to be a rocket scientist but was never graduated from high school or something like that. It was very silly, but I watched it with my wife and we had a good time.
Yeah.
And those are the kinds of things that go right to streaming.
I think that's part of it too. Is just like who's watching these romantic comedies. I think a lot of couples too, and maybe they can't go out, especially if you have
kids.
You have children. And what's this one about? She has kids in this one.
Yeah.
And if you are a fan of this franchise, you've probably grown up with it. You
probably
they assume you have kids by now. So they've done the math, I think, on this, and I'm sure it will be a success because they know what they're doing, and they're releasing it on Valentine's Day. Well, it looks like Galentine's Day, so I think that's the day before usually.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. I think this is going to probably be a big success for them.
It has like a weird group of writers on it. The main one listed that I saw on IMDb was the writer of one of the writers from the Ali G show and Borat. He wrote on both Borat movies and the Ali G Show and all the other Sacha Baron Cohen stuff. Which, you know, I mean, that's good track record right there. Those shows and movies are hilarious.
Funny.
And then the other writer that was listed wrote Shame and Iron Lady back in the early mid-2000s.
Okay, yeah.
It's just a weird collection of talent there.
Yeah, I don't know how that idea came about, but maybe it could have just been maybe they were fans of Bridget Jones and they wanted to put their talent onto this project too. That could have been how it goes. I'm thinking that part of it. I mean, except for Renee Zellweger, very British.
Yep.
We have pretty much almost all the cast, and I'm guessing that's where we're getting some of the background talent too.
You've got your what's his face? Chula Ejiofor. I can never pronounce his. Chulatel Ejiofor.
That's what Steve here.
I'm not getting it right. He's a great actor though.
He is.
I've loved him ever since the Serenity movie.
Yeah,
he plays the bad guy.
He's the bad guy. He's great in that.
Yeah, and then obviously
he's continued.
Love Actually and all those other.
Yeah.
movies.
He brings it every time.
I'm sure he'll be great in this too. I'm thinking he's probably going to be one of the main love interests.
Yep, that's what it looks like
young,
here.
Handsome gentleman.
Yep.
Who's I don't know from anything.
I know.
But he was in White Lotus. Steven, get on the microphone if you're going to give us all this. Go pronounce Chila's and Ejiofor's name for us real quick so we can get it right on the record.
Yeah, but that's I think that's probably how we got this one is just we had all the talent.
Hugh Grant's back?
Yeah. And I got the impression that everyone who from the cast they like working on these movies. Like, we get to come back and do another one?
Yeah,
all right, sure.
It's going to make some money, I'm sure.
Not?
It goes right to Peacock. Peacock gets some more content.
They love it.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. And, it'll be going great to Peacock, but I could even see maybe there's a limited.
It's Chiwetel Ejiofor.
I don't know. We'll see. But, I think I know it's going to be a success because I'm already hearing people who want to see this movie.
Yeah, I mean, add me to the list. Even though I've only seen parts of all the other ones, but
I'm not the target audience for this, but the target audience, they're there.
My wife's the target audience, so I'll see it. Yeah. She loves Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about the next one. It looks like we're going to talk about Captain America, something Strange New World, Brave New World,
Brave New World. Yes.
Let's take a look at it.
We're on the brink of war. You know I've been no fan of heroes, but even I can't deny the good that you've done. But I still haven't told you a secret. The country needs Captain America.
You made a mistake, and you know it. Now you must fix it, Mr. President.
Let me fix it. Watch yourself. You're not Steve Rogers. That's right. I'm not. Global power is shifting. You're just a pawn. Somebody was pulling the strings on everything. Stand by for proof of that.
You want me? Come and get me!
Captain America. So many surprises left.
Okay, so obviously this is going to be kind of a bigger movie. I mean, just in terms of budget for the month.
Yeah.
I am not personally terribly excited for it. And I loved the show. I loved the Captain America show. I thought that was great. I loved the chemistry between Anthony Mackie and
Sebastian
Stan. I'm very concerned for the absence of Sebastian Stan in this movie because I think that their relationship elevates both of them. We'll see. What did you think from this trailer here?
I mean, my first it's swinging. It's going for the big swings on this one here. I mean, you saw from the trailer that we are going to have a scene where the President of the United States turns into a Red Hulk and smashes up
That's
the White
another
House.
thing that bothers me about this movie is that you had Hurt there, William Hurt, for almost a decade and a half as that character. And you've got this buildup with him for that entire period of time, and unfortunately he passes away.
Yes.
And they choose to just recast him which I don't love. And I love Harrison Ford, and if he had been him from the start, I would have been fine with it.
Yep.
But I just feel like it's just feels like a move where everybody's replaceable and you're all cogs in the machine, and that loses the charm.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely something worth talking about. And what's so fascinating about this is, like, they could have. I am glad they didn't just put CGI William Hurt in there.
Yeah.
They could have done that. They have the technology.
Yes.
They could do that. They've done that with other movies. Disney's done that
Romulus.
before. Yeah, exactly. And so it's like, would that have been better? I don't know. Because the thing is here, you know, he's going to turn into a Red Hulk. So he's going to be CGI through most of it anyway. Yeah. So it's like, they could have gotten away with it a little bit. But I kind of think I prefer just the recasting rather than doing the CGI.
Yeah.
Unless, I mean, if it was if it was just in for one insert scene, okay, then that's fine. But it's, you know, if we're going to do the full movie where he's pretty much the secondary lead, it looks like, in this one here, it probably is a good idea to do the recasting. But it's also just strange in that this will be the first Captain American movie where it's not, you know, the original Captain America. We're getting, they're changing guard. We got a different, that's what this movie's about. You're not Steve Rogers. You're a different Captain America. And you are not General Ross. You're now a different actor playing General Ross.
Another one of my concerns with Captain America is that generally he's the least interesting person in his own movie. Like, as far as I'm concerned, the first one exists on the strength of Hallie Atwell, Tommy Lee Jones, and Stanley Tucci. I mean, they turn in great performances in that movie, and that movie is great because of it. And Chris Evans, perfect Captain America. He's amazing, but he's just a flat character. Civil War, you have the whole ensemble that has been built up for 10 years making that movie great.
Even mention Winter Soldier, where we got the Winter Soldier, and then Anthony Mackie. That's the first one he was in, too. So it's, and that's where we showed him being just great in stellar, you know, in that role. But that you're right in that the Captain America character, that's kind of his thing. He's just good to start with. He doesn't really have big character arcs exactly. His character never does because he's usually right. He's always the person.
One who's just
he knows he's I'm going to be noble, perfect. Kind of like what the Superman role is, which is why Superman sometimes is difficult to adapt to.
I agree completely. It's been very hard to do over the years.
That's why you need these other characters who are flawed or different, or they're dynamic. They're the ones going through the changes. They're the ones seeing things. But again, this ain't, you know, the original Captain America. We got a new Captain America, and that's...
But there's my concerns. Will that work?
Maybe. Well, you're right. We don't know yet. That's what makes it kind of exciting. We'll watch it. We'll find out, and we'll see how it goes here. This one is probably one of the more weird Marvel films, different ones, just because it's going to be the fourth Captain America movie, and then there was the TV series, as you mentioned too,
which I loved,
which is great. Is great. Everyone seems to love that. I've heard. I haven't seen that one yet, but I'm told that everyone I've talked to says it's fantastic. We don't know. This is going to be uncharted territory to some extent. Will we accept a different person playing the lead actor?
You know, Anthony Mackie's proven himself in the character at this point, based on his track record in the films, and absolutely deserves to take on the mantle of Captain America. I was fully convinced watching the show and all of the other things he's done. My problem is in the machine. I'm thinking I'm dangerously close to overconfidence in the Disney machine, and because I look at the list of people involved, and there's virtually no noteworthy talent on the creative side. The director, his only project of major note is the Cloverfield Paradox, which was hot garbage. None of the writers have really done anything else except some of them worked on the show, which, you know, gives me a little bit of hope there. But like, Marvel kind of built itself picking talent and then elevating them. And then at a certain point, they thought they knew better. And I feel like we've come to a point where that inflection may be starting to sort of weigh them down.
Yeah, that's a thing that's come up with a lot of these Marvel movies is because, a lot of these directors, there was a big controversy where the directors were like, well, I don't know the special effects and stuff, how that works necessarily. Well, Disney says, no, we'll handle that.
Yeah.
Because they do. The action scenes are pre-packaged. They know what they're going to do because a lot of it's CGI. So we're going to just put that in. That they're not really directing that.
Yeah.
It's someone else directing it. It's being directed by really the CGI team, special effects team, what they have.
Mm-hmm.
And then the director's like, okay, just the talky scenes here and there, we'll have you do that and maybe figure some other... That became the thing. And I think it is worth noting, first Captain America movie, if I'm remembering correctly, that was Joe Johnston who directed that. And he's...
Inspired choice.
Yeah, it was a great choice, and I think it ended up being his biggest film.
I mean, watching The Rocketeer and then watching Captain America,
yeah,
you can just see the line.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And then when they did the other ones, the Russo brothers, who went on to do the Avengers stuff too, but they had got to start on television too.
Yeah, which I mean, it makes sense because when you're working in the Marvel Cinematic, it's more like working in television, where you're hearing input from multiple, and there's a huge writer's room, and it's you're in control of one small aspect of a larger machine, as I was talking about.
Exactly.
So I think the Russo brothers did a great job.
Yeah.
I mean, they stuck the landing in a really spectacular way on an impossible task.
Yes.
I mean, all credit to them, and that's why I'm just a little bit nervous moving away from them because they were the Captain America people.
I think they just realized that it's not the Artur brand here, and there's another argument to be made that it's the character name. It's not even the actor. We don't have the superstar actors anymore. We just have the character name, that the IP, and they're just inserting it, and you're gonna watch it, and we. It's
on Disney Plus.
It is. And the other funny thing is, Harrison Ford's in it, and Harrison Ford has the distinction for a while there. He was the most profitable actor of all time.
Well, yeah.
His movies have made more money than any other actor when you combine them all. And I think actually Sam Jackson took that from him for a while.
I think it's not. It's a list of Marvel people now.
You're right. Well, actually, technically, Stan Lee. Because he has the cameos and everything.
I think it's. I looked this up the other day, and I think it is like Robert Downey Jr. and Sam Jackson's like number 4.
Because Sam Jackson's been in Star Wars. He's been in.
That's why.
He's been in these Marvel movies. He was in Jurassic Park. He's been in every Quentin Tarantino film.
Who else was on there? What's her face from the Star Trek and.
Zoe
Saldana's on the list.
Because she's an Avatar,
Because she's an Avatar.
But she's
and then
also
Chris
Star Trek.
Pratt, I think, is like number 2 or something.
He's up there like that. But that's how that happens now. And who knows? Maybe Harrison Ford's going to steal it again now because he's in this movie.
Maybe
it could come back to him again. And but it just shows you because Harrison Ford was a superstar for a very long time.
Star Wars, Indiana Jones.
He was a star in the 80s. He's a star in the 90s.
Air Force One.
He's still going.
Fugitive.
It has not stopped. I mean, and now it's just a different star power is very different because he isn't the main character this time. He's been the main actor in almost every movie he's ever done. Which is for a while now, for a long time, for a very long time.
Technically, he's the supporting actor
in Star Wars. That's true because he's sporting there. But after that,
Indiana Jones.
It was years before anyone else ever had star power above him in there. And this, it's a changing world. But then the movie is called Brave New World.
True.
That's what they're selling this on. It's paradigm.
True.
And they might be right for all this.
I hope they stick the land. I love it. I would love it if it was great.
Oh,
I would love it. I'm just nervous.
I'm nervous too, but it's going to be exciting either way because either it'll be a spectacular failure, or it'll be one of the best, except maybe one of the better movies we've seen all year.
Honestly, it's probably going to be in between. It'll be middling.
Yeah, maybe we'll
forget about it in 2 years.
Maybe we're getting to we'll find out. It's February release, so we'll figure out what we're still talking about at the end of the year.
Yes. Next up, we're going to take a look at a trailer for something I'm really excited about, a new Looney Tunes movie. Let's go ahead and take a look at it.
For generations, you laughed with them. You cried with them and watched them grow. In 2025, they're coming to the big screen like never before.
Daffy. Oh, sorry. We're not afraid of nothing. What? Here's the script. Catch
catch up on your own time. We have to act fast, and there's only one person that can do the job. Daffy Duck. Daffy?
Oh, no, not the duck.
Man.
The duck?
That's right, the duck.
You gotta be kidding me. Who greenlit this garbage?
Who's there? Get it off me! Get it off me! Get it off me! Get it off me! Oh, is it over?
I'm very excited.
I am too.
I love the Looney Tunes. Space Jam is my favorite. When I was a kid, I used to watch the Looney Tunes all the time. I didn't have cable, so I didn't get like Cartoon Network.
Yep.
But when I would go to my grandma's house, she had Cartoon Network, and I would spend every Saturday morning when I was at my grandmother's lake house watching Looney Tunes on Saturday mornings because it was so funny.
Oh yeah, it was great.
I love Daffy Duck. I'm very excited.
I am too. We really just haven't gotten enough Looney Tunes movies in our lives.
I agree.
It seems like a slam dunk because, like you, I would be watching Looney Tunes pretty much every Saturday. It was always on one of the networks for Saturday morning cartoons. They just show the reruns.
Yep.
And they were fantastic. They held up, even though some of those were made in the 40s and 50s.
Easily.
We still love them. It didn't matter. You know, there was...
That kind of slapstick is never not fun.
Yeah, it aged well. It just kind of kept popping up, and we can still watch them. And it's just, it's been kind of crazy what has happened and like why we didn't get more of them. Because like you, I saw Space Jam in the theaters when it came out. I had to see Space Jam.
I didn't see Space Jam 2 though.
No, neither did I. Because I was like, but I didn't need a sequel. I mean, if they're gonna do a sequel, just do a different sport or something. But
I think they tried to do a different like back in action, which was
Back in
actually
Action.
pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good one, and it was, but it just for some reason, and I've heard many people explain why that one didn't quite work or hit with the audience the way they wanted it to. But you know, you're right. It was pretty good, but they just didn't know how to sell it anymore.
I think so.
And
Yeah.
it's like, and I think that's what kind of the problem is with some of the Looney Tunes. They're like not sure what to do with them necessarily. In the '90s, they were able to do the whole Tiny Toons adventures that worked quite well.
Mm-hmm.
And their Cartoon Network do something with them every now and then. There was a Duck Dodgers cartoon there for a while.
I don't know if I saw that
it was really good. Daffy's the lead, of course, with Porky Pig as the sidekick, and he would fight Martian, Marvin Martian.
I mean, if
so
Disney's still able to find ways to use Mickey Mouse and crew,
Yeah.
I mean, why can't Warner Brothers figure out a way to put the Looney Tunes up a little bit more often than what we're seeing?
I know, and the thing is, I'm really happy that we're gonna get this, but I was nervous because we were supposed to get a Wile E. Coyote movie.
I know.
And they
buried it.
They
It's
buried
lost
it
to
for
time.
legal reasons, and this is worth noting because it was called Wile E. Coyote versus Acme. He was suing the Acme Corporation, which that's a brilliant idea.
Yes.
That is so good.
I'm so mad that we never got a chance to see that.
They canceled. They made the movie, but they realized it would cost too.
Don't talk too bad about it. They'll bury this one too.
I know, that's what's so scary. And I'm like, but they did announce it, and we only have a few weeks for it. So it's and at this point, like, you're right. I don't know. The fact we're in an era where they can bury the films and
Whole
like
movie just disappeared.
No, we don't get to see it. You know, and it's just so
It
depressing.
used to be the legendary "The Day the Clown Died" or whatever. Like that movie, you could never find a copy of because it was killed by the studio / the guy who made it.
And they did I don't know what's gonna happen with. I hopefully this will like. Maybe I'm hoping, cross your fingers that it will wake them up and it's like, oh, we can use this.
Yeah. My kids saw the trailer and they were like, oh, that looks like fun. And they've only really seen Space Jam. So.
Yeah. But this is interesting in that it is completely animated. They're not going to have any real life actors in it from what we know. And I'm fine with it too. But it is strange that they're like, no, full cartoon. We're doing full classic cartoon.
Let's do it.
We don't need the live action actors in there to hold the bolster, which, Wile E. Coyote was supposed to be. They were going to have mixed in there, like. But I'm happy for it. I want to see this one too, and it's
My one complaint is that I think Daffy and Porky sound too similar. I think Mel Blanc did a great job with both characters, making them distinctly different.
Yeah.
And the new guy who's doing both characters, I think his name's Eric. I feel like he's just not quite hitting the affectations right to get them to be distinctly different enough. Because obviously they're voiced by the same guy, as they've always been, But I feel like when Mel Blanc did it, he had the affectations just right, so you couldn't really place it.
Yeah.
Whereas there's a couple times in this trailer where I'm confused who actually is talking.
Yeah, that could bite him in the end too. That with some people trying to listen.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a big enough problem to really hurt the movie. It was just something I noticed in the trailer that frustrated me just a little bit.
I think
I've
they'll
always got to complain about something.
Yeah, I think they'll lean in on Porky's stutter to try to get you through that. That'll probably be. And this is a weird question, but all the Looney characters have a weird speech nuance thing, and I can't place what Daffy's is. It's just that he's kind of spitting a little.
He's a little nasally,
Little
and he's
nasally.
always kind of got that spittle
like
going.
a hawk going on there, but he's not as much as Sylvester the cat.
No,
you can't go that far.
No, yeah.
But it'd be. I am also fascinated that they're going Daffy as the lead. Bugs Bunny's not in this trailer.
I'm fine with it.
I'm fine with it too, but
love
I'm like,
Daffy.
that's bold. We're not even we're gonna skip Bugs
We
completely.
don't need Bugs.
He might have a cameo, but whatever.
I'm sure
it's
he'll
fine.
probably pop up in the
But that's fine
background or
because, like I told you, there was a Duck Dodgers cartoon series on Cartoon Network for back in the early 2000s. There, it was fantastic. Daffy can pull it off. He can do a lead.
Yeah.
So let's do it.
It just looks like everybody's gonna be dumping on him the whole movie, which is
fine.
Daffy's for.
He needs to be there.
Yeah, everyone's got to dump on Daffy.
That's fine.
Usually it's Bugs dumping on Daffy, but we're just gonna have everybody do it now.
I know it'll be exciting to see how they try to make, even if they try to make him likable or not, or if he learns a lesson.
Make him obnoxious.
We'll find out.
Okay, so I think the last film we're going to take a look at here is one I have some serious red flags about.
Uh-oh.
And now I know you haven't seen the other ones, but we're going to take a look at the trailer for Paddington 3 here. And when we come back, I'll tell you all about why I have issues.
All right.
Thank you for using Photo Me.
Oh, not at all. Thank you for having me.
Make sure your face is within the red circle.
Paddington, there's a letter from Peru. Dear Paddington, to your Aunt Lucy.
She's gone, and we have no idea where she is.
She raised me when I was orphaned as a cub.
If you ever get lost, just roar.
I know I can find her.
It's not as if we can drop everything and fly to Peru.
To inflate your life, Jackie.
I didn't mean now, Paddington. Welcome to Peru.
Your aunt seems to have set off into the dangerous jungle.
Aunt Lucy would never give up on me. We have to find her.
But the Amazon is quite... large.
Excuse me, sir. Is this boat for hire?
It is your lucky day.
Paddington, what are you doing there?
This family stays together. We'll find her, Paddington.
This way. Thank you. Just round this corner. Never touch this plant.
What are you, bear?
Aunt Lucy always says you can take the bear out of the jungle, but you can't take the jungle out of the bear.
That was close.
It's called a hard stare, Mr. Hunter. And it's for when people have forgotten their manners.
Okay. I love the Paddington movies. Unashamedly, I think they are incredible. The first one's great. The second one is a masterpiece. Almost no one involved with those two is involved with this one. I mean, in terms of the cast is mostly the same, although they did lose the mom.
Yep.
She was recast with Emily Mortimer, who is a good actress, so I'm not going to be too bad about that. But like, it's mostly new writers, a new director. It was delayed three months. It was originally supposed to come out in November. These are all huge red flags to me in terms of like sequels.
Yep.
I mean, if you're not keeping the same creative team, I think it's going to be a little bit harder.
Yep.
Now, have you seen any of them films?
I have not, but I'm always constantly told how great they are. And if I remember correctly, Paddington 2 basically had a perfect score on Rotten Tomatoes for a long time.
I believe it did, and deservedly so. It's not a perfect movie, but it's a great movie.
Oh, yeah.
And it deserved to have a really high score on Rotten Tomatoes. I can't think of many things you could fault in terms of knocking it down.
And that's the thing is, though, I don't usually cite Rotten Tomatoes, but the fact that both movies are so highly rated and for so long, very few films have achieved that.
Yeah.
And it's telling you something that people really like these movies.
And key thing is it also had a very high audience score.
Yeah.
So that means that critics and audiences agreed that Paddington was really good.
Yeah.
Now, why the mom was recast, I don't know. Maybe she got another opportunity and is pursuing that, which more power to her. Why the new director is on board. Maybe the old director got a new opportunity and is pursuing new things. Hopefully that's the case. Hopefully the new director continues with the spirit of the films and we get to see another wonderful adventure featuring a tiny bear who likes marmalade. Olivia Colman's in the new one. I saw Antonio
Banderas. Who seems to be the bad guy this time.
Seems to be the bad guy. I feel like Olivia Colman is also a bad guy.
Well, I think they usually have two villains in some of these.
Kind of. Like Hugh Grant was the villain in the last one, and the first one it was
Nicole Kidman, I believe.
Nicole Kidman and
one of the
Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Whose name I cannot remember off the top of my head.
It'll come to us later.
Yeah.
But I think that could be what's going on here. We'll see. My only red flag with this, and because I didn't know that they switched up the creative team on this one, and the thing that got me is because those first two movies were so successful. I was like, why isn't the third one coming out for so long? It took a while for them to get to this third one.
Yeah.
And then they had to get a completely different crew to kind of make this one. And I'm wondering if the reason we have a switch up is they didn't have an idea for the third film. They didn't know and I'm almost wondering if the studio just brute forced and said, no, we're doing it.
I feel like that might be the case, especially considering the fact that it was originally slated to come out as a holiday movie in November, and then it was delayed to the middle of February, where it's like...
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
No.
That's what I'm kind of thinking is happening here. It'll probably be okay, is my thought. I don't know if it's going to be able to match the expectations even of those first two films, but it'll probably do just fine. My only other thing from watching the trailer is it's a lot of CGI in this thing because we have to make Paddington that way. I get worried when you have too much of that. I think in the first two films, from what I have seen though, because there's so much of it's in London, and it looks pretty good. They're just really doing the bear for the most part.
It's pretty much exclusive. I mean, there's a handful of CGI scenes, like obviously like the toilet scene where the bathtub overflows all CGI.
Yeah.
And there's a handful of other scenes like that in the other films. But a lot of the work is done on just the bear.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking because we're going to go to Peru, which I doubt they filmed in Peru for any of this at all. So much jungle is just going to be, and it's going to be just like Jungle Cruise all over again. Yeah, with the boat even looking the same. It's like, that makes me nervous too, because it's like, and I don't know. There's something to say, like, if they had actually filmed in Peru, that might have made it. I'd be interested.
Maybe they did. I don't know. I didn't
Maybe
look that
there might be a couple
That's
scenes.
That's not in my notes here.
I don't know. I'd be shocked if they did. That seems like I don't know what that they have for.
Do you want to start talking about the big Oscar releases? Because they just announced everything that's going to be at the Oscars.
All right, we can spend a little bit of time. I think we deserve it.
A few minutes,
Let's not go over because we'll be here forever.
No, I know. Well, okay.
We'll save it for the actual Oscars, maybe.
So how many of the films that were nominated did you see? I saw Wicked, Dune 2, The Wild Robot, and that's about it.
Well, you beat me for like the ones that were nominated for Best Picture because I only saw Wicked. I didn't get a chance, and that's the one thing if I can take away, tell people I wanted to see more of these films.
Me too.
I could not because they were not available to me. The one I really was sad about, Anora. That one, I wanted to see Anora because I heard, even before it was out, because it went through Cannes and people loved it at Cannes Film Festival. So I want to see this. I'm interested in this movie. It's not playing around here.
Yeah.
I couldn't find it. And that's true of a lot of these films. Like, they weren't available. I probably should have saw Dune 2. That was regularly available.
Yeah, that was easily available.
I
even saw it, Clay. Come on.
I know, I missed it. I'm sorry. And I saw Dune 1, and so it's like, God, I should have probably seen part 2.
It's more of the same.
It's more of it, yeah. But, and I read the book too, so I probably should have got around to it. But at the same time, it's like a lot of these films that were released, I wanted to see them, but like, there is a problem with these prestigious films that they go for Oscars where they do not want to screen them for the general public. They want to just put them in a
gatekeeping.
They gatekeep them from us because like we're just going to put them in the place in Hollywood where you have to have it screened so that you can be eligible, and then maybe we'll filter it down to you later.
It'll all be on various streaming services.
Later on,
9 streaming services.
And that's Conclave. Actually, that's a good example. I wanted to see Conclave because I actually heard Conclave.
I got Peacock. I'm going to see it. I'm going to watch it.
Everyone told me Conclave was very good before it got nominated. I was hearing stuff from just regular people, my friends on like, oh, they saw it. I saw it on Peacock, and this is great. And so but I don't have Peacock. So it's like, what am I going to do?
That's where I saw Wild Robot, too.
Exactly.
I gotta get Peacock to watch those two.
It's turning into one of the better ones, but still.
Speaking of Enclave, though, Ray Fiennes is up.
Yeah.
Which I want him to win. I haven't seen the movie. I don't care how good he is or how bad he is in it. I want Ray Fiennes. About 10, it was probably maybe 15 years ago, I wrote a list of 10 people that haven't won an Oscar yet that should have. And I've been checking the list off every year. I wrote the list down. I wrote Leonardo DiCaprio was on the list, Christopher Nolan was on the list, Gary Oldman was on the list, Sally Menke was on the list. Unfortunately, she's since passed away.
Yeah.
Roger Deakins was on the list. Sigourney Weaver.
Sure.
Kevin O'Connell, who's a sound mixer.
Oh, okay.
Ray Fiennes and Stanley Tucci. I've checked off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 10, and one has since passed away. The only 3 that are left are Sigourney Weaver, Ray Fiennes, and Stanley Tucci. Okay. We can check Ray Fiennes off this year.
And the thing is, I'm glad you mentioned that because I was like, wait, has he won it yet? I wasn't sure. And the thing is, I think there's a good chance he will.
I hope so.
And it's because he hasn't won it yet. You are not the only one.
Because Timmy will get another nomination in the next 10 years.
Yeah, he's gonna. I mean, he's gonna. Yeah.
Not to say that he doesn't deserve it. He had 2 huge movies.
He did. He's done great films.
Amazing.
He's doing great work.
He's a great actor.
But you are absolutely right, and that's kind of, for better or worse, how the Academy thinks about this stuff. They know he's gonna win eventually because he's young and he can keep making these films.
He's in his 20s.
Ray Fiennes, he's still a relatively young guy. I'm sure he'll make plenty of more films going out there. But he's been turning in great work for years.
Great work.
And he's done it all. He's done every type of movie, comedy, horror, whatever. It doesn't matter. He's put in the work, and they want to give. A lot of times
I kind of thought he was going to get one last year or 2 years ago for The Menu because I loved that movie. He was great in that.
That's a great example of what he can pull off here. But I think he's going to get it for this one just because not only has he put in the work for it, I think the audiences are watching it. People do like this movie.
I want to write 2025 right next to Ray Fiennes.
He could be the popular one. My gut would say he will win.
I want to get it down to just Sigourney Weaver and Stanley Tucci. I wrote 15 years. This list 15 years ago. I wrote it.
Yep.
And right away Leo won. Kevin O'Connell got one a couple years later. 2 of them checked off the list in 2018 with Roger Deakins and Gary Oldman. Christopher Nolan last year.
I'm with you. I think
he got 2 last year.
Yeah. I think we'll get it. I think
hopefully.
Yep.
Other than that, did you see Wild Robot? No, you didn't see it, right?
I didn't see it yet. No.
Beautiful. Animation's amazing.
Awesome.
It's a beautiful story.
We'll probably win for best animated.
That's my hope. I hope that one.
I'm guessing it will be. I don't even know. Just looking at the list, that seems to be the one that.
We talked about this last time too. That I felt like How to Train Your Dragon was robbed in 2010, and it's the same director. And I'm pulling for him just because I think he was robbed in 2010 for How to Train Your Dragon. Give it to him this year for Wild Robot. It's beautiful.
Probably will then.
All right.
Well, traditionally, I should say this because we do put our predictions for Oscars. I think you're correct. You predicted better than me. I think you usually have a better track record. And actually, Steve too. I think of the 3 of us,
Steven's good at it.
I have probably the worst track record for predicting. I did okay. I did pretty good last year, but.
Oh man,
I'm getting better, but I think you guys probably have.
I usually start picking random on some of the. I don't know. I haven't seen.
I mean, I have to do sometimes too, but I do the guesswork. Like, well, based on what the audiences are doing, so I'm okay at it. I'm getting there, but
we'll see. Maybe they're gonna lob a bunch of Oscars at Amelia Perez or whatever.
I hope not.
Yeah, the Stevens over there saying they will. I hope not.
It'll be the Green Book of this year.
Oh, see, but the Green Book's actually pretty good. Like, I get why people have complaints about it, but like, it's a pretty good movie.
Okay.
You know? Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it.
All right,
I was one of the people who was told. I got scared.
Yeah, just watch it. It's not.
Okay,
It's not. Was it Crash? Where like.
Oh, Crash.
Yeah, or Shakespeare in Love, where it's like an absolute robbery. It's a pretty good movie. It's just a competitive year, and probably shouldn't have been the one to win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which whatever. Everyone's Green Book.
I don't know but that's the thing is I don't actually know what's going to win Best Picture this year. I couldn't even put a good prediction.
I wouldn't. Have anything to predict.
I don't
All right, Steven, let's go.
Are we ready for some
What do we got?
trivia?
You gonna stump us this week?
Can you hear me in the booth?
I can hear you a little bit.
I can hear you.
All right, so question number 1. Can you hear me out there?
Yep.
The Monkey is based on a short story. What was the name of the collection it was released in?
We already talked about how we didn't know this.
It's a Stephen King one, so I'm going to say, I think I know. Oh, because I think I have the book. Because I think the cover I have actually has the monkey on it. But it's not Nightmares and Dreamscape, so it's probably... What's sad is it might actually be called Monkey Shines or Monkey something like that. But I can't remember what the name would be. So
I'm going to say Monkey See, Monkey Do.
Monkey
Crew. All right, show them the answer.
I don't know, man. Skeleton
Crew.
Okay.
That's a good Disney show.
I do actually have that book. I didn't realize. I got it confused with a different one.
Got the monkey with the symbols right on the cover.
Yeah, it's right on the cover. You were right about it being
on the cover. That's why I was like, which one is it? I got it confused
next question.
with 4 Past Midnight that he wrote us over.
What classic novel was the original Bridget Jones film inspired by?
Pride and Prejudice. We already got this one.
You got all the answers already, just in your conversation.
Oh, really? Good.
Yeah.
I want to dunk on all these. Let's go.
Good.
Show them the answer.
Finally, we're going to win.
Pride and Prejudice.
All right.
What year did Sam first appear in a Captain America comic?
Oh, God. All right, you said we got all these in our conversation. I don't remember.
Most
I'm betting it was the 70s. Probably, my guess would be 76 or 77.
I'm going to guess 78.
What do we got here?
68. I was going to go lower, too. Dang it.
The outfit looks 70s inspired. I don't know. But they were just ahead of their time, I guess.
What classic sci-fi is referenced in the title of the new Looney Tunes movie?
The Day Stood Still.
The Day
They Stood Still.
Yeah, you got it.
All right, yeah. We were talking about that movie earlier.
There you go.
All right, next. Which actor from the Paddington cast was replaced in the latest installments? You know which... You said the mom before.
Mom,
Do you
but
know
what
her
was
name?
her name? And this is going to bother me. It'll
Oh my
come
God,
to me
I know the
later.
name of the
Because
new
she was
actress.
also in Shape of Water. And I cannot. I'm drawing a blank on what her name is right
Dang
now.
it.
Off the top of it.
I should have looked this up.
I want to say
looked
it's
up the new
Maria
actress.
or Maria or something. I can't remember.
The new actress is Emily Mortimer.
I know that. That's the same
Yeah.
thing because I remember Emily Mortimer.
But no,
she has
what
a
is
very distinct name, and it was going to bother me because I think this actress
She was in a
has the same
Godzilla movie I was watching the other day. too.
Yes, she was.
All right,
She
we're
was
just
in
gonna
that
go to
one
it.
as well. I'm gonna
Show 'em the
it's
answer.
Gonna kill me because I should know her name.
Sally Hawkins was replaced by Emily Mortimer.
Sally.
All right, well, we got part of that at least.
All right, and that's all we've got for you today.
That's all we got? All right. Well, we did terrible,
We
as
did.
always.
Well, I think sadly we did better than we normally do.
We got 2 right.
Which is
All right.
better than we normally do.
True. All right, well, that's it for this month's edition of Nuff Said. We'll see you next month. Go enjoy a movie.